So in this video, I'm going to show you how to prep your images. And so this is some images that I took yesterday of a dumpster, very simple dumpster that I thought we could get started on. Again, it's just a very simple polygon cubes, and I'm going to show you how to extrude that and create this object. Um, so what we want to do is just make sure this is all lined up, so when we bring it into Maya, into the front and side view, that we have something to get started with. All right, so one of the first things I do is just make sure the rulers are open. So we just go on to view, and sometimes if you don't see the rulers, it'll look like that, but to go to view, I think mine are always on because I'm always using them to prep a file. All right, so with rulers, you can pull these down and line things up. And so you can see when I pull that down over here, you can see it's touching, but over here, that bottom is not, so it's not lining up. So I'm gonna do the same with the side. And you can see how warped it is. No matter how hard you try, the image is not gonna be perfect. And what we want it is to be perfect, so when we get into Maya, we have kind of a nice alignment. And so you can see really on the bottom here, kind of the bottom of the dumpster, even though it's been dented and so forth, it's probably not straight. We do want to get that nice and lined up. All right, so we're going to go ahead and duplicate this layer. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the background. All right, and then I'm going to hit Command T, and this is just a scaling feature, and I've been doing this so long I don't even know what Command T means. I think it's just a shortcut for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit Command T or Apple T, and that'll bring this up. And if you move this, it'll scale it and so forth. But we actually just want to grab this corner independently. So I'm going to hit Command Z to undo what I've just done, and I'm going to hit the kind of Control or Command key. And you can see when I hit the Command key, it will just move that independently. So you can see that corner is moving by itself. All right. So I'm kind of looking at my image here, and I'm moving it in. So you can see I was trying to move that corner and also that piece right there. So now you can see I want this top piece right here to match up with what I've just done. Okay. And I'm going to do the bottom here. I'm going to pull this out, and so again, Command key, and you can see it's just warping that edge, and I'm cleaning this up. And I'm sure you guys know how to do Photoshop, but this is essential stuff to cleaning stuff up to get it prepped for Maya. So you can see as I've been pulling stuff out, stuff has been rewarped, so you just have to kind of go around maybe once or twice and do some micro adjustments. All right, so this one's a little bit off now. Just walk around, look at it. All right, so after you're done, you're still in this adjustment mode, and you just want to go ahead and hit return or enter, and it's locked down. All right, so I'm going to continue and just continue and do that for the rest of it. And for this one, I'm just going to zoom in. It's pretty far out. And I'm going to go ahead and do the adjustments here. And it's kind of hard to see the line here, so we're just going to kind of adjust according to that. This one's not bad at all. So again, I'm going to do some micro adjustments, and I use my rulers, just kind of the guide, because you can't really see that there's an issue. Okay, we're going to go ahead and again, right click and hit duplicate layer. I think that first layer is always locked, so you can't really adjust it. So I'm going to do Command T or Apple T, depending on your computer. I'm going to zoom out because I can't see my adjustments. Okay, this one's gonna be a little bit harder. I don't know why I was so far away when taking my photo. Again, it's good to take lots of photos because once you get home, you're not gonna be able to redo it. And right now it's dark. It's what, 4:30 in the morning. Okay, this one's okay. I think I'm just gonna adjust the bottom a little bit more. There we go. We're looking around, just looking at top edge. I'm gonna hit return. And you can see my adjustments, just a little bit out here, a little bit out there, and so forth. Hit return. And then one last one, and then we'll bring them all together so we can kind of scale them together after I adjust this one. All right, and sometimes it's just the nature of the lens. So this is on an iPhone. I think the iPhone's about a year and a half old now, so it's kind of old school. So not the best quality, but pretty good for what we're doing. Again, you don't need the greatest. All right. Do one more here, kind of gonna go here. Now we don't have a straight surface here, so I'm kind of looking at this as my midpoint. Pull this down in a little bit, and then again, go around, make those micro adjustments. Every time you pull one in, it will pull the other out. So it's kind of a game to see how to make those adjustments. Okay, so that needs to go down just a little bit. All right, I know this is kind of tedious, but this will help you, believe me, once you get into the next stage. All right, so I hit enter. I've got my form. I'm gonna go ahead and hit Command A, and that just basically selects the whole image there. I'm gonna hit Command C, which is copy, and I'm gonna go ahead. I think we'll go to the back. That's plenty of information. May not need the front, but I'm going to go ahead and get them all prepped. So I hit Command V. All right, so you can see if I go to this move tool, we need to adjust it on top of each other, kind of scale them so they're the same size. You're like, well, I can't see below it. So we're going to hit that layer, and what we want to do is work on our opacity so we can see through it. So right here, I know this is small, and hopefully this shows up in the video. So we're just gonna knock it down to maybe kind of 40%, 30%, I don't know. You adjust it to where you can see it. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of move around, and I'm gonna put it on the bottom here. Oh my God, it's pretty close. And so what I'm doing is lining that up so that the top and the bottom match up. I'm gonna go up on my opacity, kind of see where it sits. So I know what I'm looking for is kind of that bottom ridge line to match up on both. So I'm gonna go back up, and you can see that bottom line right here needs to match up. So I go up to my move tool, and it looks like I just need to adjust the bottom here. Okay, we don't need to worry about the sides because those are two different things. And to do micro adjustments, you can use your arrow key, believe it or not. Sometimes that's really helpful. All right, just gonna kind of put it in the center, and you can see it's a little off. Well, actually that's pretty spot on, right? So I can use my eye wink here to go to different layers, and you can see that the top of that and this match up. That's pretty amazing that two photographs are lining up like that. So we're gonna go to our front, and we're gonna go ahead and hit Command A, which will select everything in that scene. And I'm even gonna cheat even further. So I'm gonna hit, I'm gonna clear that. I think you can go edit. Don't know what, I think it's to clear it for select. Deselect is Apple D. So you have it, you see it's selected, so I don't want that. I'm gonna hit Apple D, that'll clear the board. And then I'm going to get my selection tool and I'm just going to do a micro selection because I don't need all that airspace. Command C. Again, I know this is a lot of work just for reference material. So I'm going to go to my final image that has two layers on there. I'm going to hit Command V and then paste that in and then hit Command T. Alright, this one's going to be a little bit different because it's a lot of warpage, but we're going to kind of fake it where we know this is the top and we obviously know where the bottom is. Okay, so I'm going to stretch this out, and when you do this, you see things are warping, but you want to make sure you're scaling it. Okay, so what I'm doing to make sure it's scaling correctly so things don't get wonky is hit your Option key. That'll keep it nice and clean. Okay, scaling factor is important. Alright, so I just keep scaling it up. Kind of have to do these little micro adjustments. You may have to play around with the keys, what that is. Alright, so I'm just going to go up here. Alright, and so I'm just lining it up with this. Again, look at how we did the rest. So I winked this off, and you can see it's just to that edge. Alright, it's not going to be perfect because, what happened in my image? Alright, so I didn't hit enter and it went back to its default size. So we just rinse and repeat, no biggie. We're a little bit faster now, and again, holding Option will scale it. You don't want it to warp. Okay, again, we're not trying to do the sides here, we're doing to the side of the form. Alright, so you can see it's a little bit off up here. That's alright. I think that's caused by the warpage of the camera. So I'm just going to get the width in there correct, and I think the rest of it we can kind of fudge in Maya. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Alright, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and crop everything because we don't need the bottom of all this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get my crop tool, and you can see it shows up a little bit different feature from the last Photoshop. It's a little bit easier to see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and enter, and again, it's going to get rid of all that. Now, if you know anything about Photoshop, if you ever screw up, you can always go into the history part, and you can go back maybe 15 mistakes. Because if you do Apple Z or undo, it'll only do 1 or 2 backups. Alright, so I hit enter, and again, I may go ahead and delete that. Yes, and you can see we've got our side and we've got our back. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and save this file, and we're going to go ahead and save to your computer. And desktop photos, and I'm actually going to go to my dumpster, and I'm going to make a new folder called Maya Photos. Call it whatever you want. Go ahead and create, and I'm going to go ahead and hit dumpster. Okay, so you know it's a PSD, so that means it's a Photoshop file, and you have multiple layers. Okay, and I should have saved it. I'm going to save it again where they're all on. Save. Alright, it just saved over the file that we just made. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and save 3 separate ones. So I'm going to save this as front. Okay, so it's very easy for us to grab when we get into Photoshop. Do JPEG. Okay, so this is a nice light file. And we'll hit save. Okay, you don't have to worry about quality on this. This is just real quick reference material. We're going to go ahead and hit save as again. Save on your computer. Okay, hopefully I'll figure out. This is all new to me, this saving onto the desktop every time is kind of annoying. I'm sure there's a option to turn that off, but again, I'm just trying to do this quickly. Alright, so we can do JPEG, and we're doing side. Quality is so-so, and Now we're going to do back, save as back. All right, so we're just naming it really quickly so when we get into Maya, we know which is which. This is back, and again, not a Photoshop, we want JPEG. I don't think Maya does PSD, and it's a little bit heavier, and again, PSD has all the layers, so it's easier to just have a JPEG. You can do PNGs also if you want alphas in Maya, but again, keeping it simple with a JPEG, not the best compression of an image. All right, so I'm going to stop here, and again, I'm going to break this into sections so it's easier to grab. So some people won't even need to do this. This is pretty straightforward. So good luck, and on the next video, I'll show you how to import these into Maya and then get started on modeling the dumpster. Again, very simple. It should be a pretty quick day of modeling. Good luck.